Up in the North Rocky Mountains, west of Fort Nelson, British Columbia, the Summit Lake wildfire has been going on, and it has burnt up to or over the road. I don't know exactly. I can only guess. The highway is effectively closed down. So if you want to go up to Whitehorse, for example, or anywhere past Dawson City or into Alaska by highway now, you'll have to take the Detour. There's a detour, don't worry. Let's talk about it. Let's go. There it is. This is bad news.
My God.
What do you think it happened?
Get on! Wow.
I'll watch the video later. They try mopping this. Hey, look, here we are on what's going to be the new Drive BC. I really like the interactive nature of this map. It's a lot more readable to me than the one that we currently have. So we have this closure. The highway is closed, 97. Basically, all points towards Liard are closed off now because of the wildfire between Grouse Trail and Toad Mountain Road for 161.9 kilometers. That's 187 to 25 kilometers north of Fort Nelson. This was updated 5 hours ago. We will have a new update in 10 hours, so by the morning we'll know more. Maybe. I'm sure that's a big priority right now to close that road. Get that closed road dealt with, and we'll tell you why in a second, because there's a detour, but you're not going to like it if you're planning to go to Whitehorse and you're not sure what the nature of that fire is going to be as the heat's coming and there's another wind event. I expect that active and extreme fire activity will continue up there. So whether or not it's feasible to reopen that road anytime soon, that's hard to say from where I'm sitting here. There's also this other road closure because of the Kiskatinaw Creek wildfire there between 209 Road and Stone Creek Road for 39 kilometers. There's a wildfire there. Highway closure location has changed there, so make sure you're checking Drive BC there. Next update is in 3 days on that one. So with the extreme weather conditions, the extreme wind, that's really what we're talking about there is extreme wind. There's no telling when we'll get either of those roads open. So there is a bypass around this. We'll talk about it in a second. But first, we'll go to BC Wildfire Service and look at their map and see what it's saying here. 5,000 hectares right now. That's G90421. A wildfire that's spreading or is anticipated to spread beyond its control lines. Here's the full skinny on it so far. Discovered on May 28th. It's out of control, right? And here's the response that's going on right now. We don't have any update on the response. Okay. So I don't know what's going on there. No one knows. I'm sure there's people on it. Whether or not they can do anything in this weather right now with that wind at times being as crazy as it has been. So wildfire investigation is going on there right now. It's under investigation. And we'll come back and talk a little bit more at the heat map and just have a look at what happened. But we know it's going to be warm on Saturday. We know BC's warming up on Sunday, although a secondary low is going to go through there on Sunday sometime. When I make my next full forecast, we'll look at that. I don't know how much time I'll have this weekend for weather talk, but there is a detour if you want to get to say Whitehorse. You're going up to Fort Nelson, and the highway's closed, we're told. Okay, now where are we going to go? We're just going to go all the way back down to Fort St. John and through Hudson Hope there, past the big dam, over down through Chetwynd, high chainsaw carvings, up through the Pound Pass, past Powder King, down to the Mackenzie Junction, down the Heart to Prince George, coming down to Prince George, and then all the way out to Burns Lake, of course, down the highway at Tears, up through Hazelton, up through the Stewart-Cassiar Highway, through Diskett, Dease Lake, up to Cassiar there. Now you can go to Watson Lake. Now you can be into the Yukon, although you do kind of dive back down into BC for a moment there by Swift River where the highway dips south. Teslin, and then up to Tagish and up to Whitehorse, beautiful old Whitehorse. So there's a detour there. It's only going to take you 27 hours, 2,426 kilometers out of your way. So, we're hoping to see some resolution on that fire because that cuts off significantly the access to the Yukon. There really is only two main ways from the south into her, and that is one of them. So, maybe there's some back roads, sketchy roads up there through in and around the fire up through the North Rocky Mountains, but that's really in the saddle of the North Rockies. That's the sort of the crest. That's the pass there, And I've looked at these maps a long time, but these places, like there's no roads. There's just no roads, That's like Summit Lake is your one, up through Muncho, you're entering the Rockies there. That's your route through the Northern Rockies. That's how you're getting to the Yukon. So good luck to anybody who's trying to get there otherwise. 2,426 kilometers may be your detour, or you might just want to wait, or I don't know, see if there's some other magic way that I don't know about into the Yukon. I don't think there is. This is it's really what you're looking at. 97 highway is your only bet to get there. And what do we see on firms when we look at that fire? G9er 0413 is it looks like it's pretty close to the road there. I mean, I don't know. Anything could be happening there. I don't know. They've closed the road, BC Wildfire Service, and there's wind and it's sketchy, and this fire's shown some growth in the last 24 hours. Looks like it took a run there. As we look at the last 7 days, we get the impression of like what's really gone on there over the last 7 days. You know, it has challenged the highway a number of times. Road closures haven't been new up there. I don't think. I think it's been closed before during this fire already once. So you can see it's grown quite a bit over its short lifespan, and it will probably keep growing in the warmth and the strong winds that are coming. Now let's have a quick look at the Sundance Lake one there. It's got an evacuation alert. That's G70501. G for George, Prince George District. Travelers around 97 may see smoke there. Relative humidity is expected to be very low for the next couple of days. Strong winds are still forecast for Sunday. So this is all updated on June 6th, but we don't have much change in the weather report here. And we do know it's going to be quite warm on Saturday. Quite warm with stronger winds in isolated areas there. The active section of the fire is the southwest flank next to the lake. A guard's been established in the northeast head of the fire. This is where the majority of crews are working. There's a 2-foot wet line on much of the perimeter. Crews have worked overnight last night. Again, that's unusual, but they're trying to make ground when they can, knowing that the wind and the heat are against us. So though not too warm today up there, it will be quite warm on Saturday, and that will push wildfire activity. There's 25 members of BC Wildfire Service, and there's helicopters and heavy equipment there. Our other fire of note, the Kiskatinaw one, we do now have the map showing that it's burnt over into the Alberta side there. It's now at 14,276 hectares. Unbelievable. That one's grown so big. So that's the other big one today going on. Crews completed hose lay and heavy equipment constructed a guard north of Kelly Lake last night. So they worked through the night. Small scale ignitions were conducted to strengthen containment lines and slow the fire spread towards the community. And the northeast corner of the fire remains active through the day. Sustained winds of 30 to 50 and gusts up to 75 were expected in through the evening. We know that some of those winds did hit into the piece. A cold front is tracking across northeastern BC, bringing a shift in wind direction, contributing to highly volatile conditions. Spotting continues, and fire behavior is expected to remain aggressive, particularly the northeast flank and south flanks. As winds shift, the south flank is expected to become the head of the fire, with the potential for significant growth to the southeast. Structure protection is there, right? In Alberta, it's referred to as Kiskatinaw River wildfire, so now it's interprovincial. And there's 117 firefighting personnel still there and 12 helicopters. Other fires in the north showed a lot of activity in the wind today. Looks like the ones in the far north took a pretty big run up there. This guy looks like it's grown a fair bit. And a little less activity, it seems like, on our Kiskatinaw fire. Definitely the head of it has been moving, and it did cross in the Alberta border in the last 24 hours. We were looking at over here by the highway, by Chetwynd. Don't see any hot spots today on there, so hopefully they're getting a good handle on that. The Goodlow fire, it's shown a lot of growth. That's one we haven't talked about much yet. It's kind of out there in the middle of nowhere, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that it keeps moving and does challenge quite a bit of properties. I did work a fire out of Goodlow. We were in this area over here a couple of years back. So we were on the Alberta side. Got to spend some time in Alberta as a wildland firefighter. So hot driving winds, that's been pushing fire activity up there in the northeast, and we know that conditions are drying out through other parts of BC. It's going to be very hot this weekend, very dry. Be very careful. We might have lightning events in the future coming, but there is rain coming for BC again too, I think, next week. But we'll talk about forecasts in a forecast video. That's it for tonight now, friends. Bye now.